Yes.
And that's really one of the fundamental things we're going to talk about today.
And so
I love it.
I've been talking about that. So as much as that little heart watermelon looks really pretty, Mary, my eyes keep going to the what I feel like is the yummy stuff sitting out there. But you said we're live here, so we better.
are live. So let's get on with this. Good morning.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
Mary and Kim, Healthy You, second Wednesday of the month. Here we are again, kiddo.
There's two things going on today, as we were just talking. It's Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day, and I just have to say it's like my most favorite holiday because it is the holiday after a dormant January.
Right.
The sun is shining today.
It's perfect.
And as a baker, and let me tell you, the sugar peddler in me came out this morning, as you can see.
Obviously.
So the topic today is food for fun.
I love it. And it's Ash Wednesday, too.
And it's Ash Wednesday, which we've just been having an interesting conversation. But first, before we get into our dialogue, we welcome you to Healthy You.
Yes.
Mary Ardapple with Coreview Coach. And
I'm Kim Martin. And one of the hosts of your show today, and I'm just so excited about food for fun. We've been talking about changing that mindset when we see food. You know, how does our brain think about that and how important it is for us to be aware? But real quick, make sure you like our show, give a show. It's Valentine's Day, so give us lots of hearts.
Time out. I don't want you to just like the show. I'm ready for some real love.
Yeah.
So I want to see lots of hearts on that tagging. I want you to share this podcast when it gets put online.
You.
Share it forward because Kim and I really, really are here because we love you.
Yes.
And we want you to love yourself and to love your relationship with food. And so food at Valentine's Day often is decadence, box of Godiva chocolates, box of Russell Stover chocolates. They're all really yummy and delicious.
Yes.
They are. Roses. Red roses, color of love, red or pink or purple.
I'm wearing hearts.
Purple is also
a
color of love.
Heart Valentine, so I got it going.
But as we talk to you each month, it is truly because we love you. And so today we're going to talk about food for fun. And you've heard me talk in the past, food for fuel, food for recovery, but there must be food for fun. And that's where we get into a hiccup with our conversation, just as you were just sharing.
Yes.
So share with me, it's Ash Wednesday, and so what does that mean for you?
So what that means is that we are supposed to fast a meal, and we are supposed to, the other two meals should only add up to one meal. No extra snacking, nothing like that. So it's not that we don't eat the whole day, but we just eat two meals that add to one. Does that make sense? And then no extra snacking throughout the day.
So what you failed to share with the listener today was no yummy treats. I
said no yummy treats, right?
And so she's looking at this table spread that I brought today, and she says no yummy treats. And right there is an excellent example.
Yes, it is.
Of that. That says negative.
Yes.
There's a negative connotation in our relationship with food right there.
Right.
We've labeled something, and this is where we get in trouble with our labels.
As I was just talking to my Curves members about this week, I just did exactly what we talked about. I said, no yummy treats, as though nothing else is yummy if it's doesn't look like that.
Right. So I went online before I came in preparation of today and decided I wanted to find out what's out there in the dictionary that really crafts and supports negative conditioning in food, okay, in our language around food. So when I think of the word food as fun, the words that I think of are enjoyment, pleasing, recreation, reward, entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay? And I think that's how I look at it. So when I think of food for fun, it doesn't have anything to do with can't, shouldn't have, denial, bad for me, right?
Right.
I mean, that's just how I look at it. So I encourage you to adopt positive words. But I looked up online, fun food is a definition in the Urban Dictionary. Let me share this with you. A certain type of food that when eating it, it is the equivalent of having fun. And it should be, food should always be fun.
Yes.
It may make you recall past fun times. Aha.
Yes.
There's something
Brings up
emotional.
some emotion.
Brings up some emotion. Or inspire future ones. Okay? Eaten socially with someone you know you can have a tremendous amount of fun with. So again, there's that connectivity that we as humans require having nurturing relationships. So when we share food, it's really fun food. So when I say food for fun, maybe you live alone and it's time to have food for fun. You can go share a meal. That's food for fun. It doesn't have to be sugar laden. Get it?
Got it.
Get it? Get it?
But funny how my mind went right
Right.
there, and we have to change the
Well,
way
it's-
we see that.
It's really interesting to me in this Urban Dictionary definition of fun food, all of the words that I just read and those sentences emote positivity, warm feelings. They end the definition with usually bad for you. What?
Oh, that's what it says. It does. Fun food is usually
bad for you. And I'm like, wait a minute. You had it cooking all the way down through this definition, and you end the reader on a negative. So how often in our lives,
Yeah.
when we think around food, and especially around sweets, we precurse the conversation with a negative, like I shouldn't or I can't.
Right. Or that's bad for
Or that's bad for you. So I'm going to talk to you today that I honestly don't believe that it is bad for you. You just don't eat the entire box. That's my premise. That's what I coach myself, my clients, and anybody that'll listen
Right.
to me, frankly. So thanks for listening today, might I add.
I'm listening.
And-
I hang on your every word. I always learn. I love having you here.
So before we go into what I brought today and why I chose what I brought
Yes.
today, I did a little bit more homework on Food for Fun.
Okay.
And I actually found a site that has some jokes about making food for fun. So get this. Why did the people dance to the vegetable stand?
To get jiggy with it.
Jiggy. Nope, because it had a good beat.
Oh.
So here it's a game, and I'm going to actually post this in my next newsletter. So if you want to get the next newsletter in February, you've got to go to the Coreview Coach homepage, fill out the form, and then you'll get on that distribution list. And I'd love to share these fun things with you. But this whole site is a fun site. It's about getting kids to understand good, fun terms around vegetables.
Okay.
Okay, so beets, red beets.
Red beets.
On Valentine's Day, eat beets. Eat
Yes.
beets every day.
Red food, red vegetables are very good for you.
Okay, do you know why apples float in water? Another fun fact. Going to do a little fun fact here. Do you know?
No.
I honestly didn't really either. Apples are 25% air.
Really?
Get out of town. Fun fact.
And
fun,
they float.
Fun fact, and they float. That's why bobbing for
Bobbing
apples.
for apples, yeah.
Yeah.
I never bobbed
When
for
was
an
it?
apple.
I was never good at bobbing for apples.
I did not want to stick my head in the bucket of water. I did not like that at all. I don't know why.
Okay.
Never liked it.
Another fun fact. We're having fun with food, right? Another fun fact. You're going to love this. All your ladies at Curves, I bet
Okay.
you they're doing it. Americans eat 900% more broccoli now than we did 20 years ago.
900%?
We're eating more broccoli. We're
Well, that's good.
We're growing it more, and we're eating it.
Well, we're learning that it's so good for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like medicine. Broccoli is like a medicine. So it's good. It's good. When you see broccoli, you should think good.
Exactly.
You shouldn't go, ew, broccoli.
Right.
You should
not be making a face at your food.
No. You should be like, oh, broccoli, medicine for my body.
Okay, so what is one vegetable? We always talk about vegetables
Yes.
and hydration, right? And what are they?
I know. I think I know some.
Okay, wait a minute. But when we eat vegetables, they're caloric neutral. What's the term you use?
So they're
I never remember this. I'm sorry. I should by now.
negative caloric intake.
Negative
Although I
caloric.
did learn from Ashley, a registered dietitian, our expert, that in the dietitian world they don't really look at food as negative caloric intake because everything counts in the dietetic world.
Okay.
However, vegetables have such low calories. You know,
That your body's burning more calories when you're eating food because it has to digest
but they
it,
don't
right?
want to give people the wrong
Idea.
that if you just eat vegetables all day, because you need more than that.
Right. But this one is one of my favorites, and you can put it in water, but also in the summer and the winter to get more liquid in.
Yes.
Ever wonder where the saying "cool as a cucumber" comes from?
Well, I know cucumbers are hydration. They are hydrating, I should say.
Well, according to this site, the inside of a cucumber is 20 degrees cooler than the outside.
Really?
So being cool as a cucumber.
That's awesome.
And
I
then
wonder why, because it's got that thick skin.
I would think so because,
Yeah.
it's kind of a hide on the outside
Yeah.
of a cucumber. Okay, so last joke, and then we're going to move on here.
These are good, though.
How do you fix a broken tomato?
No idea.
Tomato paste. Ding, ding. I think that's really fun. So
That is fun.
I just wanted to interject. Food for fun doesn't have to be something that you just consume.
I needed those jokes. I needed a good laugh.
You needed
I
so
needed a good laugh because I told you I had a rough night with a headache, and then I was kind of tired.
you're a
but
little
now
more
I'm-
low energy. And look at this.
I know. Now I'm laughing. It's great. My headache, I'm not even thinking about. It's gone.
So I introduced those comments, those jokes, and just some of the fun facts to us this morning, Kim, because again, when we think food for fun, what do we often think? Denial. Can't
Right.
have
Bad
all
for
those
you.
negative things. And it's like, no, you can just talk about food and have fun.
Yeah.
Okay? Because food is really fun. It doesn't have to be just eaten. So when we're developing a relationship with our food, it's more about how that word speak is going on in your head before it actually gets in your mouth. Because your senses start to eat the food
Yeah.
when you see it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So
You start to imagine what it tastes like.
Exactly.
And bring back all the memories. Yeah.
So as a health coach, I like to encourage my clients to develop that revolving record in their head that instills positive words.
Okay.
So then we think about food for fun, and what category do we think of all the time?
Desserts.
Yeah, and sugar.
For me, some
Okay.
people like potato chips. They might think
Some are salty.
chips, dip,
Right.
peanuts, that kind of salty food.
So that's right.
For
So
me, I
there-
go straight for the
it's
thumbprint
sweets.
cookies.
And you now have aligned, again, I'm just using you
No,
as the example
all
here
means.
because we do this so often. We assign sweets only to dessert,
Yeah.
and really not so. Because all of our berries are sweet, all of our fruit are sweet, sweet potatoes are sweet, peas are sweet, carrots are sweet. So once again, as we develop that relationship with our food and we think of the word sweet, it goes across a number of our food intake items.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be just processed sugar.
Ah.
Uh-huh. And also, when we talk about food for fun, and if you go back to my words that I really like to use as entertainment, pleasing,
Yeah.
soothing, rewarding. I tell you, a cup of Mexican hot chocolate with some cinnamon sprinkled in it and a touch of heat with chili powder is warm and cozy. And you can just kind of feel that nice mouth, creamy, soothing sensation. But it doesn't have a great deal of sugar in it. If you're using milk, it's got some protein in it. If you're using nut milk, it's also healthy for you.
Sure.
But you're adding some spices to bring you some pleasure in a dessert
Sounds wonderful.
and in a sweet treat that is not over the top caloric.
Right.
Okay? So let's examine for a moment what kind of spices to introduce into our life when we think about food for fun. Again, focusing on those words of pleasing,
Sure.
cozy, nurturing, entertainment. Cinnamon, definitely.
That's the first one that popped in my mind. I'm like, cinnamon, you can, a little cinnamon
Absolutely.
sprinkled on almost anything is divine. It has such a powerful flavor.
It does have a powerful flavor, and I have to share some memories as being the retired sugar peddler. I lived down the lane from where Apple's Bakery was. So when my bakers would come in ahead of me, and every morning we made cinnamon rolls,
Oh, goodness.
and I would walk towards the building. Just the aroma of cinnamon. Just think about it when you make something at home that
Yeah.
has cinnamon in it. What does it bring? It again, just wells up that emotion out from inside of our body. Somewhere in our life, we have been somewhere that we have had that strong sensation of cinnamon, and our body relaxes. And so when we're thinking, again, food for fun,
Yeah.
is paying attention to the sensations that are created in our body when we are smelling those types of spices.
Yeah.
Okay? Or a nice ginger cup of tea at night. Ginger, again, soothing to the digestive tract, nice and easy and cozy. That's how you kind of feel about those spices. It's just really wonderful. So then add some nice cloves to that. And so you don't have to gravitate towards sugar
when you're
for it to
thinking
be food for fun.
We just need Mary to describe it to us.
I just need to whisper in your ear.
We just need you whispering. Ooh, add the cloves
I mean,
to the
yeah.
ginger tea.
I mean-
and your voice is so soothing. And I'm
Well,
like,
thank you.
oh, well, this tea's going to taste delicious now. Now I want tea with cloves.
It will. So when I talk about those spices, go ahead, play this podcast again and just take out that slice if it's my voice. But take a moment to really inhale a nice, gentle inhalation and allow the aroma of those spices to come into your body and let them do their magic. Let them do the work. That's how we really expand our relationship with food. It isn't all about what we just immediately put in our mouth.
Because you know what, though? When you're explaining that, I can just picture it. But what we generally do, if a lot of you listeners are like me, we're rushing around, we're in a hurry, we're grabbing, we're sticking our hand in the cookie jar, we're like, oh, that's delicious, and we're taking it. And whether or not it's healthy food, as we see healthy, meaning fruits and vegetables, or if it's a cookie, we're not taking time to appreciate what it is.
You are
At
so
all.
spot on. You are absolutely so spot on. You know, we read all day, we can read all day long on articles of chew your food for however many times. You know, some people say 21, some people say 30. And we talk fast, we move fast, we
Right.
eat fast. And that is a problem of the American culture. And
Yeah.
so enjoying, I think, food for fun is an IT disconnect opportunity. There
Yeah.
should not be really even a television on, maybe some background music, but if you can do that. And Valentine's Day is a day to celebrate that. You might not do it every time that you have a sweet, but Valentine's Day is one of those times that you can take a pause. So if there's a message of love in Valentine's Day, it's loving yourself first,
Right.
always loving yourself first, and then love someone else with you. And now let's talk for just a moment about people who don't have a love relationship. They're not dating, they may live away from their family, they're not married. There's still love to be gotten out there, and I want to really encourage the viewers today to keep that in mind. First and foremost, the love starts with ourselves.
Oh, everything starts with
First
that.
and foremost. We support
Talk
that
about
all the time,
Yes.
all the
I
time.
share that with people. It has to. Change has to begin with love.
Right. So say, okay, I don't have a date on Valentine's Day. Or like Kim, she didn't buy her kids a Valentine's Day card. I'm throwing you under the bus.
I know. And Katie, oh gosh, she's looking at me this morning with these puppy dog eyes, sorry. And I'm like, what? Is everything okay? She's like, yeah. And now that we were talking, I'm like, maybe Katie was like, gosh, no Valentine's?
Or
Nothing?
no, and so it could have just come out of Mom's voice of saying, Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. I really love you. Have a very nice day at school. But that didn't happen, other than have a really nice day at school,
Until
probably.
I got a message from my mom on Facebook that said, hey, baby, just wanted you to know how much I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm like, I'm a terrible mom.
So where I'm leading us with this thought, and I want you to really ponder this further, I like to give you a little bit of a homework whenever we're talking, is to wear the love of yourself on the outside of your body. Don't keep it in. Be proud, love your body, love your smile, love the twinkle in your eye, and then share it with anybody that you come across today. Because I'm guaranteeing you, the glistening of love that emotes from yourself to another, even if you don't know them, you've made a difference in that person's life. So if there's one thing about Valentine's Day, it's not a selfish day. It's not to be limited to just two people, though our culture promotes it.
Right.
That it is a couple's day. It's not. It's a day to share love and have fun with food.
Love.
Okay? Love. It's all
Love,
about
love.
It's all about love.
It's all about love.
So, let's get back to the real fun part about fun with food. So, when people look at the array of food that I've brought today, we've already talked. Kim sees
Cookies.
cookies.
Sugar cookies.
And
all
I love-
colorful.
And I love cookies.
And they're so pretty.
Thank you very much.
They're beautiful.
I had a lot of fun to do that. But here's, if you're a decorator, you can just go ahead and make your own conversation hearts. Okay? And fortunately, you can make a cookie any size you want. The thumbprint cookie, it's great because it's got color. You can change whatever kind of frosting colors you want in there. But again, it emotes love and fun. So the more colorful, and we talk about this a
Yes,
lot,
color.
the more color you put on your plate or in your diet each and every day, the relationship with food is healthier and happier all day long. So now we take a look at these sugar cookies. We're just going to take the sugar cookies for a moment. So what have I done with them to reduce the amount of either sugar on a cookie or fat on a cookie? All right.
Right.
So on the Conversation Heart cookies, it's your basic sugar cookie, nice small size. And remember, I also like us to have different taste points in a mouth, to keep that brain active. When we talk about eating mindlessly, especially when it comes to sugar, there has been research done that actually if you took one bite and you took time of eating one bite of a Snickers bar, you wouldn't eat the rest of the Snickers bar.
Because you're thinking of, you're
Because
not
you're
just shoveling it
satisfied.
and you've actually satisfied it. You thought through the texture, the taste.
The
I
reward,
have really
the
learned that
entertainment.
from you,
It's
Mary.
pretty
I've
crazy.
slowed down. Thanks to Mary, I've really slowed down. And even as I was sitting here thinking and looking at that cookie, although I'm not going to have one today, but when I do have one, just thinking about taking my time and actually sitting and enjoying it. So that's what I was thinking for the listeners. You're going to get some candy today, maybe. Someone's going to give you a cookie. Don't just grab it. Or
Right.
don't look at it and go, "Ugh, I can't have that." Maybe you're practicing Lent today and you are going to wait and maybe have it tomorrow.
Right.
But take time to sit down and enjoy it.
That's absolutely spot on, once again. And it's okay not to eat the whole cookie. And when you slow down, you will realize there are times that I just can't eat the whole cookie. Like the larger heart
Right.
here, that is 2 cookies.
That's 2 cookies.
Or eat a smaller one. So when we have food for fun, and oftentimes they are more decadent, they're higher in sugar, they truly are. I mean, we equate dessert to being high sugar, high fat load
Right.
kind of foods. But it is when we slow down and if we are eating with a person, having conversation, if we're eating alone, make sure that when you take the bite of the cookie, place it back on the plate before you take another bite.
Ah, that's
So,
a good advice.
yeah, it's really how can you be meaningfully consuming and enjoying, because it's reward, it's recreation,
Yeah.
it's entertainment. It's not a primary food group, okay? I mean, that's
Right.
the key. Food for fun is not necessarily a primary food group. On these cookies, though, there's some significance on this and also on the thumbprint. The colored icing is made with skim milk. So and all it is skim milk and powdered sugar.
Okay.
So if you want to reduce the fat content in some of your icings, get away from whipping cream and get away from whole milk and use skim milk. And so you're taking the fat grams out of that if that is something that's important to you. On the black and white cookie, that has no extra sugar of like powdered sugar. That is coated melted white chocolate and then melted very dark chocolate.
Okay.
And you already know I'm a big dark chocolate
Sure.
fan. And so that would be also a cookie that will satisfy more because it doesn't have as high of a high glycemic sugar pop on you. So you can tweak your recipes at home to play around. So the key here is play around with it. Don't just say I have to eat it that way, and have fun with it. Now, cinnamon, I already talked to you about. Cinnamon is a great spice to have for love and appreciation, and then it dresses up food for fun. So Kim immediately threw this red cup, parfait cup, under the bus.
I did, because I'm like, I saw all the Cool Whip, and I thought there was a brownie
Okay.
under there, but I see
Nope.
blueberries.
They're blueberries. So having
pretty.
your fresh fruit, especially on Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
grabbing some red raspberries, blueberries. So what do we got? Lots of vitamins, a
Yeah.
lot of antioxidants.
Antioxidants, loaded berries.
And then I choose to use real whipping cream. And so in a tablespoon of real whipping cream, there's only 50 calories. Okay, but we immediately look at that and say, "Oh, bad."
Right.
You know, I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that. I think that when you whip up a tablespoon of real whipping cream, that it fluffs up so much, you really are barely even eating that
Sure.
50 calories.
Yeah.
There's no added sugar in it, so there's no white sugar in this.
Okay.
And there's some vanilla bean, ground up vanilla bean, and then I sprinkled it with cinnamon.
Wow.
Why don't you go ahead and have a sample of that? Because now that you realize there's no sugar in it, it now is a yummy treat
I
and
can have
allowable.
a little bit of
on-
that. I don't
on-
want to eat that top right. Okay. Oh, I
Oh,
got
you
a
got a
blueberry.
blueberry.
Yummy. Oh my goodness.
So there's a dessert.
So delicious.
There's a yummy celebratory dessert for Valentine's Day, or really any day, but it has no added sugar in it. It's got a warm and pleasing spice on it,
Right.
and it's nutrient rich.
And it's in a pretty cup.
So that's
Look at how pretty
thank you.
that is.
Thank you. I'm so happy that you made notice of that.
The presentation of that is wonderful.
Because when you go back to the Urban Dictionary, recall past fun times. Memories of other people and our food. Our food for
yeah.
fun is really great. So my grandma Ardapple, this is my grandma Ardapple's Haviland white china. So on special occasions or when I want to celebrate, get out a nice dish.
Sure.
Change the dishes up to have food for fun to be served on. The red cup came from a lady who is no longer with us, and who is a dear, dear, dear friend, and she gifted me all this red
so pretty.
glassware. But that's how you can take food for fun and elevate it, that it's more than just about the food.
It's the presentation.
It's the
Look
presentation.
at your little heart.
So then here's the other idea. Again, for food for fun
Yes.
on Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday, take your Valentine's Day heart cutter, take a slice of watermelon and slice out the center of it, and you can have a plate. So you want kids to have snacks, or you just want a fun non-sugar, non-processed sugar dessert. And I always like to have blueberries with it.
Well,
I like red
blueberries,
and blue because
yeah.
I love blueberries. And then today we had chocolate dipped strawberries, and a chocolate dipped strawberry is under 100 calories. So you're going to eat one. You're going to be satisfied. It's okay.
You're going to taste every bite.
Taste every bite.
You're not going to just shove the
Yeah.
whole strawberry in your mouth at once.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and you're going to enjoy it and think about all the different flavors.
So let's recap. The number one thing we need to do, I encourage us to do, I shouldn't say you need to do because it's your choice, and if you choose not to, that's okay with me. But I would encourage us all to first evaluate what are the words that we connotate to food for fun. And if you have in your framework denial, can't have, shouldn't have, bad for me,
Right.
I would like you to get an eraser out and take
erase
those,
that.
get rid of that negative language in your head and insert loving, positive, nurturing, entertainment, pleasing, and then make wise choices. As a health coach, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Taking time, and you bring up mindfully eating, it's
Yes.
a big deal. But our relationship for food is to be one of love, because it's not just about keeping us healthy and building a strong body, but it's also building a strong emotional network. So thank you for tuning in with us today. Go to my website,
I know.
coreviewcoach.com, sign up for that newsletter, like us on Facebook.
Post some comments and ask some questions.
Yeah.
Definitely want to follow Mary so that you can get that newsletter and all these wonderful recipes.
I love it, and we
Second
love them.
Wednesday of every month.
Yay! It's so much fun to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful Valentine's Day
Yeah.
and Ash Wednesday.
Thanks
Yay,
a lot.
that's awesome.
So
That is so good. So that whipping cream.
that's real whipping cream.
PeoriaLife.com